Saudi Aramco Work Permit Receiver Updated Question and Answer 2020 Examination. Total question and answer 34. Passing marks 28 and or right answer 80%. What is the number one cause of confined space death? 1. Explosive atmosphere. 2. Oxygen-enriched atmosphere. 3. Hydrogen sulfide poisoning. 4.0 Zygon-deficient atmosphere. Answer is hydrogen sulfide atmosphere.
Question number 02. Who is jointly responsible for the safety of people and equipment as site? 1. The issuer and receiver. B. The safety officer and receiver. C. The receiver and other workers at the site. D. Gas tester and loss prevention. 1. Answer: issuer and receiver. 3. Why do we have a work permit system? A. To inform you of restricted areas. B. To authorize permission to leave work. C. Timekeeping purposes. D. To provide a safe workplace. Answer is to provide a safe workplace. 4. What is hold tags user for? A. To replace padlocks and lockout devices. B. For hot work. C. To explain reasons for locking out equipment. D. To isolate electrical circuit breakers. Answer is to explain reasons for locking out equipment. 5. When can a scaffolder use a welder's work permit? A. When they work on the same equipment at different times. B. If both the issuer and receiver agree. C. When the foreman gives his permission. D. Never. Answer is never. 6. To whom the receiver can delegate/hand over the permit when leaving the job site. A. Certified issuer. B. Supervisor for foreman. C. Senior craftsman. D. Certified receiver. Answer is D. Certified receiver. 7. What are 2 important reasons for using work permit? A. To communicate and control work. B. To track, control and manage emergency. C. To communicate to stop work. D. To track contractors' work hour. Answer is A. To communicate and control work. 8. A work permit lists on it: A. Maximum safety precautions. B. Government safety precautions. C. Minimum safety precautions. D. OSHA safety precautions. Answer is C. Minimum safety precautions. 9. Should be the first thing to do when receiver need work permit? A. Present his certificate no issuer and request for required permit. B. Get tools ready. C. Shut off the circuit breaker.
D. Do the isolation of equipment. A. Answer is A. Present his certification to issuer and request for required permit. 10. What 2 things receiver must do before receiving work permit? A. Take gas test and check scooter pack. B. Extend the work permit and take gas test. C. Read the permit and agree all conditions. D. Train the fire watch and renew the permit. Answer is C. Read the permit and agree all conditions. 11. Which section is considered as cornerstone in new work permit from? A. Joint site inspection. B. Hazard analysis checklist. C. Risk assessment. D. Job safety analysis. Answer: B. Hazard analysis checklist. 12. Gas tests are conducted in confined space. A. To determine the correct temperature. B. Because all confined spaces have toxic gases. C. To determine the correct humidity. D. Determine if the space is safe to enter. Answer is D. To determine if the space is safe to enter.
13. A work permit can be approved/issued for A. 8 hours. B. 30 hours. Circa 12 hours. D. 30 days. Answer D. 30 days. 14. What is checked in a gas test? A. Oxygen level, inert gas. B. Oxygen, flammable and toxic gases. C. Flammable gas, inert gas and heavy gas. D. Oxyacetylene, water vapors. Answer, B. Oxygen, flammable and toxic gases. 15. At which level of oxygen, breathing apparatus is required? A. At 25%. B. Less than 20%. C. Less than 10%. D. Greater than 15%. Answer B. Less than 20%. 16. Flammable material storage areas cannot be located within of other buildings or structure. A. 25 feet. B. 50 feet. Circa 50 meters. D. 100 feet. Answer is 50 feet. 17. Toxic flammable gases could be found in A. Excavations. B. Office buildings. C. Lakes or rivers. D. Elevators. Answer is A. Excavations. 18. Workers must wear breathing apparatus if hydrogen sulfide, H2S, reading is A. Less than 10 parts per million. B. More than 10 parts per million. C. Less than 5 parts per million. D. More than 5 parts per million. Answer, more than 10 parts per million. 19. How many keys should there be for the padlock or lockout device? A. Only 1. B. 2 only. C. 1 for each of your workers. D. 1 for both the issuer and receiver. Answer is A. Only 1. 20. A workman is permitted to enter an attaché containing oxygen without wearing breathing apparatus. A 21%. B 4.3%. Circa 16%. D 12%. Answer is a 21%. Answer is A. Only 1. 21. Where are work permits required? A. All Saudi Aramco areas. B. All restricted areas. C. All assembly points. D. All fenced areas. Answer is all Saudi Aramco areas.
22. If you're working on a job and smell, you should A. Stop work, get out of the area and notify the issuer. B. Conduct your own gas tests to find out what it is. C. Keep working, but shut down all ignition sources. Answer is A. Get out of the area and notify the issuer. 23. A major reason for conducting the joint site inspection is to A. Determine work skills. B. Identify hazards and determine precautions. C. Check on work in progress. D. Check work permit certification cards. Answer is B. Identify hazards and determine precautions. 24. A work permit can be issued for A. 12 hours. B. 24 hours. Circa 8 hours. D. All the above. Answer is D. All the above. 25. The maximum voltage permitted for portable power tool is A. 110 V. B. 220 V. Circa 240 V. D. 150 V. 26. How far apart shall access/egress ladders be in excavation? A. 10 feet. B. 15 feet. Circa 25 feet. D. 50 feet. Answer is A. 25 feet. 27. What is emergency? A. Fire. B. Gas leaks. C. Major injury. D. All the above. Answer is D. All the above. 28. For the use of a radioactive source only in a restricted area you would issue A. Hot work permit. B. Cold work permit. C. Major injury. D. None, so long as the area is barricaded securely. Answer is D. Hot work permit. 29. Who install locks and tags first? A. Contractor. B. Power distribution. C. Operations. D. Electrical engineer. Answer is C. Operations. 30. Use a fire blanket or hand dig only are example of what? A. Precautionary hazards. B. Hazards. C. Regular precautions. D. Additional precautions. Answer is D. Additional precautions. 31. When must the work permit be closed? A. After gas tests are taken. B. When the work is finished and the crew leaves. C. When the issuer leaves the work site. D. Before another permit is issued. Answer is B. When the work is finished and the crew leaves. 32. If a work permit is not issued during an emergency, what must we do? A. All safety precautions must be taken. B. Joint site inspection. C. Superintendent must approve. D. Wear Scott airbags. Answer is A. All safety precautions must be taken. 33. When hazard wall you find when doing hot work? A. Auto ignition temperature. B. Ignition source. C. Ignition switch. D. Ignition point. Answer is B. Ignition source.
34. Why must equipment be de-energized and depressurized before work is started? A. Accidental startup could happen. B. Purge gas can be lost. C. Locks and tags will deteriorate. D. Gas tests are not accurate. Answer is A. Accidental startup could happen. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe and like and comment. See you next video.